I think AI is really a tool that humans can use, and it sort of strips out the emotional aspect of human decision making and really allows humans to understand complex situations that would take them much longer to sort of analyze and comb through the data. I think it gives us an opportunity to amplify human creativity, to answer questions that we can't, to sort of analyze habits and behaviors and environments, and to make our everyday tasks as marketers and humans or whatever field we're in easier and faster.
So there we go. Thank you, Ashley, for joining us today. And welcome everyone to the third episode of Smartketers, a conversation with tech experts using artificial and human intelligence to make smarter decisions. So Ashley, going straight to the point, who is Ashley? Tell us.
I'm Ashley Fauset. I am the COO of Stardust, which is the leading social app for TV and movie fans to come and connect together. I've been in the startup world for many, many years, from editorial and brand marketing to AR and VR apps for kids and even rideshare.
Amazing, thank you. And how would you define AI?
AI, well, I think AI is really a tool that humans can use, and it sort of strips out the emotional aspect of human decision making and really allows humans to understand complex situations that would take them much longer to sort of analyze and comb through the data. I think it gives us an opportunity to amplify human creativity, to answer questions that we can't, to sort of analyze habits and behaviors and environments, and to make our everyday tasks as marketers and humans or whatever field we're in easier and faster.
Amazing. And from 1 to 10, how much do you think AI will affect the way in which we do things?
That's such a big question. I think it's hard to gauge. I would say maybe a 7. It's already changing the way we're doing things if we don't realize it. We're seeing, self-driving cars from Tesla. I think that's going to move into trains and planes one day. We're seeing it with telemedicine. I think from an entertainment standpoint, Netflix could probably look at users' viewing habits and try to determine what kind of shows they should make based on what people are watching. I think it's really going to infiltrate every aspect of many, many industries.
That's great. And going on with that, can you mention any similar transformation over history as the one you're mentioning regarding AI?
Sure. I think probably the biggest one to mention is the internet has massively changed the way humans behave, from just immediate access to information to expanded communication across the globe, to providing outlets like blogs and vlogs and YouTube to creators and people to give them an outlet to express themselves. It's a place where you can start a business. It's a place you can shop. It sort of has really shifted the way we interact on a daily basis.
Great. And do you use AI in your day-to-day in marketing, going deeper into marketing?
Sure.
You use it on your everyday job?
So we use predictive analytics to determine user behavior and send them, re-engagement campaigns if they look like they're going to churn or drop off. We use it heavily in the app when we are onboarding new users, which helps us to determine what kind of content and messaging to send them. Also, being a social app for TV and movie fans, we use AI to generate personal one-to-one media recommendations, which are a little bit more accurate, I think, than something like Netflix, where users are maybe sharing a login. And so the data is a little bit muddied, but because it's a social app and it's a one person using the product, we know exactly what those users are interested in. And we can use some other data points in the app to sort of leverage and introduce movies that users would like, and also other users that our community can connect with and follow, which makes it a much better experience for everybody.
Great. And if you could use it more, where do you see opportunities coming?
Yeah, using it in advertising, I think is huge. Delivering, one-to-one ads where the copy and the imagery is maybe curated to the person who's actually viewing the ad. I would love for us to be able to use messenger bots more in the app, where we could actually have conversations with some of the users instead of, having the team members jump in and generate those conversations. Another thing that I'd be really interested in is leveraging social listening to sort of see what the conversations are happening on other platforms and try to understand where our customers' pain points might be, so we can sort of build out those features and make our product a better experience for everyone.
And well, you mentioned that you're already working with some AI things, like I think in-house. Which were the main blockers when adapting like AI into your decision-making process?
The blockers, I think, the really interesting thing between AI and human intelligence is that emotional aspect. And so maybe if there's a campaign that people worked really hard on and have an emotional attachment to, but it seems to not be performing, it's really hard for people to say, that's not working, let's shut it off. I know we spent a lot of time on it and we feel attached to it, but the data, and this is where AI comes in, can give us a better understanding of something is performing and sort of leave that emotionality out of the conversation and really just focus on what's performing the highest.
Great. I'm going to go out of script here for just adding one question. You're doing a great job, like answering super fast. So I have a little bit more time. Thank you. Thank you for that. You mentioned that you're working with AI. Are you building those things like in-house, or you're using third-party companies to work with AI in general, in the company in general?
Yeah, right now we're building everything in-house. So it's our engineers who are generating all of that functionality. And then our email and messaging platform, which is a third party, that has some AI capability to it too. So some of that predictive analytics comes from leveraging that platform for communications.
Great. Last question. Are you afraid of being replaced by AI?
I think eventually I will be afraid. I don't think yet. I think, AI is prevalent in a lot of different industries right now, but it's still relatively new. I mean, I know the concept is older than a lot of us realize, but the implementation of it is still relatively new. And, Fortune 500 companies have the budgets to really leverage this in a huge way, but the majority of businesses don't have that kind of luxury. And I think they're still going to need to rely on humans for the time being. I think, also with new technology like AI comes the question of ethics and governmental regulations. I think there's still a lot of red tape that might be standing in the way before we live in a totally AI run world. So I'm hoping it'll be a while before I need to consider any sort of career change.
Okay, so we have time. We still have time. Great. Final thoughts for the community to share with them?
Gosh, I think the potential of AI is beyond really what any of us can imagine, and seeing things come to light in this this day and age. Like I remember, I'm sure you've seen the movie AI, where, from the 90s maybe, and there's that boy who's an artificial intelligence boy, and he seems so real. And at the time when the movie came out, thinking, that will never happen. That's such a crazy idea. But here we are with self-driving cars, right? And we're seeing robots in the medical industry that are able to perform complex surgeries and things like that. So it's starting to seep into the everyday. And I think I'm really just excited to see the potential of it and how we can leverage it to really help humanity and businesses around the world.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much, Ashley. You did, as I mentioned, you did a great job, like going super fast. So thank you for joining us today.
Sure.
I know the community is going to be super happy to hear our conversation. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It was really fun. Happy to talk with you.
Bye-bye.